Good day, sir. My name is Teja Singh and my matrix number is 293635. It is an honor to start our presentation. And we are from Group A. And today we would like to present on the rubber manufacturing industry in Malaysia. So let's begin with our discussion. Rubber is a versatile raw material used in products like gloves, medical tools, and tires. Rubber farming began in Southeast Asia in 1877, and by the 1930s, Malaysia became the world's top natural rubber producer, and the industry grew again in the 1980s due to the high glove demand during the AIDS epidemic. In the Malaysia context, exports slowed down from 2021 to 2023, but it rebounded in 2024, reaching to 23.7 billion ringgit Malaysia, while GDP contribution has slowed down a bit in 2023. Malaysia remains as a global leader, contributed by the major firms like Top Glove, Hatalega, Supermax, and Kosan. For an overview, we will briefly discuss Malaysia rubber manufacturing industry using the SCP framework, structure, conduct, and performance. The first one, structure. Malaysia glove industry is heavily concentrated, with low entry barriers, especially during the pandemics. And the second one, conduct. It refers to rubber manufacturing industry in Malaysia, which is well recognized for the competitive pricing and also quality control. And the third one, which is the last one, performance. Glove company in Malaysia profits increased during the pandemic, but it decreased post-2021. For our study, we will focus on Malaysia downstream rubber manufacturing sector. It analyzed 7 major companies by using the SCP framework. In the end, it will help us to examine the market structure, firm behavior, and also performance in depth.
Good day everyone, my name is Tan Qian Hui and my matrix number is 293438. Today, I will present the market structure of Malaysian rubber product manufacturing industry from 2016 to 2023. This period includes major shifts, especially during COVID-19. To analyze these changes, I will use 2 market concentration measures, which are the 3 firm concentration ratio CR3 and the Herfinda-Hirschman Index HSI. Throughout the period, major firms such as Top Glove Corporation Berhad, Hatalega Holding Berhad, Supermax Corporation Berhad, and Kosan Rubber Industry Berhad lead this industry. Note by Top Glove total asset grew significantly from RM 2.6 billion in 2016 to RM 9.7 billion in 2021. Meanwhile, smaller players like Comfort Glove Berhad, Hektar Healthcare Berhad, and Careplus Group Berhad experienced a rapid growth during the pandemic due to the surge in the global demand for gloves. These emerging firms demonstrate strong potential, although sustaining this momentum in the post-pandemic era will require a strategy, innovation, and realignment. CR3 measures the total market share percentage of the 3 largest firms in an industry. From 2016 to 2023, the CR3 value ranged between 71.96% and 79.57%, reflecting an oligopolistic market structure. The highest values were recorded in 2019 at 79.57%, dominated by the Top Glove, Hatalega, and Kosan. During the pandemic years, the CR3 saw a slight decline to 77.28% in 2020 and 77.1% in 2021, as smaller firms gained temporary market share. By 2023, it had a further decrease to 74.26%. Despite this decline, the industry remained highly concentrated, with the top firm maintaining a strong market control and presenting a high entry barriers for new competitors. The HHI is an alternative indicator of a firm's size calculated by squaring the market share of each firm competing in a market and then summing the resulting number. Between 2016 and 2020, the HHI rose from 0.2152 to 0.2703, indicating a shift from moderate to high concentrations driven by the pandemic-related boom. After 2020, the HHI declined to 0.2311 in 2021 and 0.2215 in 2023, signaling a return to a moderate concentrations. This suggests that a smaller firm has retained or increased their market presence, contributing to a more competitive landscape in the post-pandemic period.
Good morning everyone, my name is Tai Jin Hao, my entry number is 292282. This session, we will focus on the barrier to entry in the Malaysian rubber product manufacturing industry. Even though Malaysia is the world's greatest rubber goods producer, entering this industry is not easy. New companies face significant challenges due to the three major barriers. First, there is high capacity and technology requirement. Second, existing companies benefit from economy of scale, giving them a strong cost advantage. And the third, there are strict regulation barriers that will make it difficult for new firms to enter and operate legally. In the next slide, we will look at these three barriers in more detail. Let's look about these three main barriers. The first, high capacity and technology requirement. To enter this industry, a new company need to invest in expansion, manufacturing, advanced automation systems, and continual research and development. These investments are necessary to keep up with global demand and ensure high product quality. You will see a barrier to the new entry because there are no higher investment in the machine and do the R&D. So they will be for them they will be more difficult to competitive with other existing company. The second, economy of scale. Major players like Topgolf and Hartalega product a very large scale. This allows them to reduce their per unit cost by spreading fixed costs over millions of euros. They also use autonomy to further cut costs, make it hard and more firms to compete. The third, regulation barrier. Firms in the industry must comply with strict regulations set by the Ministry of Health, Department of Environment, Department of Occupation, Safety and Health, as well as obtain approval from MBR and CELIN. For new firms, meet these requirements can be costly, complex, and tax heavy. Together, these barriers protect existing companies and make it challenging for new entrants to survive in the industry.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Huzaifah bin Zakaria and my matrix number is 300123. Alright, for this section, which is firm strategy, we will discuss three parts, which is the first one is pricing strategies, the second one is firm strategies, and the last one is research and development. Let's begin with pricing strategies. Top Glove follow a cost leadership model. With the world's largest production capacity, they offer very competitive bulk pricing. Before COVID, prices were around $20 per thousand glove. During the pandemic, that shot up to $100 before dropping back about $25. Supermax use a dual strategy. They sell in bulk to big retailers and also market premium branded gloves like Aurelia, often priced 10 to 15% higher than generic glove. Kosan focus on value-based pricing, especially for medical grade gloves. Their prices were consistently slightly above competitors due to strong compliance with safety standards. Meanwhile, Hartalega emphasized premium pricing based on advanced natural glove technology. Their gloves have better elasticity and performance, justifying higher prices even after the pandemic. Now, moving on the strategic move by leading firm. Top Glove expanded aggressively during COVID-19, scaling up production to over 100 billion gloves annually. But after the pandemic, they shift focus to cost optimization, closing older plants and investing in automation. They also diversified into natural glove and signed long-term contract to stabilize revenue. Hartalega took a different path by investing in cutting-edge manufacturing, automation, and premium production. They built a modern production complex and target niche high-value markets like hospital and labs. Both companies are focusing on sustainability. For example, Hartalega used solar power and water recycling, while Top Glove is addressing labor concerns to meet global ESG standards. In summary, while Top Glove is all about scale and efficiency, Hartalega positions itself through quality and innovation. Finally, let's look at research and development. R&D is critical in maintaining Malaysia's global leadership in glove manufacturing. Hartalega leads with innovation like advanced natural technology, which produce gloves that are stronger, lighter, and more chemical resistant. They have also implemented AI-based quality checks to reduce defect. Kosan take a different route, focusing on improving medical-grade latex glove. Their innovation helped reduce allergy risk and improve production efficiency. Both companies invest in specialized R&D centers, Hartalega's in Sepang and Kosan's in Klang, to develop sustainability, high-performance production. Overall, R&D support product differentiation, cost reduction, and compliance with international health and environment AI standards.
Good day, everyone. Today I'll be presenting the performance of the firm, which include total assets, revenue, and profitability ratios. First, for the total assets across all 7 firms, total assets increased steadily from 2016 to 2021, driven largely by expansion during the COVID-19 period. The growth was especially pronounced among the glove manufacturers due to the soaring global demand. From 2022 to 2023, however, most companies saw a decline in assets as the market adjusted post-pandemic. For example, Top Glove, a glove company, saw its assets rise from 2.65 billion in 2016 to 9.78 billion in 2021, then declined to 7.06 billion in 2023. In contrast, Hector Healthcare, a non-glove company, had relatively modest and steady growth, increasing from 391.4 million in 2016 to 692.1 million in 2021 before dropping slightly in 2023. Next is about the revenue. All glove producing firms experienced a major revenue surge in 2020 and 2021, benefiting from high global demand for medical gloves. However, by 2022 to 2023, revenue across the board dropped due to oversupply, market saturations, and price normalizations. For instance, Hartalega, a glove manufacturer, saw revenue growth from 1.5 billion in 2016 to 6.7 billion in 2021 and fall drastically to 2.4 billion in 2023. Meanwhile, Hector Healthcare, a non-glove firm, saw revenue increase during the pandemic to 509.9 million in 2021, but this dropped to 154.8 million in 2023, showing that even non-glove firms felt the aftershocks of post-pandemic normalization. Lastly, it's about the profitability ratios, which include ROA, return on assets, and ROE, return on equity. This profitability peaked for all glove companies during the pandemic years, which is 2020 to 2021. These firms post historically high margins due to the increased prices and demand. However, from 2022
to 2023, profitability collapsed, with many companies posting negative returns indicating losses and weak resources efficiency. For example, Kosan recorded an ROA of 56.2% and ROE of 70.9% in 2021, which fell drastically to 0.4% for both metrics in 2023. In comparison, Hektar Healthcare, a non-glove company, had a moderate ROA of 27.9% and ROE of 30.9% in 2021, which then turned negative in 2023 to negative 11.1% of ROA and negative 11.9% of ROE, still reflecting the broader market corrections but with less volatility than the glove sector.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lokayi, metric number 292926. Today, I'm going to present about the policy and regulations that affect and also govern the Malaysia's rubber industry. So this session, I will talk about the acts, licensing regimes, quality standards, and national policies that govern the Malaysia's rubber industry. Malaysia's rubber sector is governed by several key laws and policies to ensure the sustainability, orderly growth, and the international relevance. The main regulatory body is Malaysian Rubber Board (MRB), which was established under the Malaysian Rubber Board Act 1996. This act merged three agencies, which are RRIM, MRRDB, and the Malaysian Rubber Exchange and Licensing Board (MRELB) into one centralized authority. The MRB oversees the licensing, research and development, industry standards, and provides the policy advice to the government. One of its major tools is the MRB Licensing and Permit Regulations 2014, which requires any individual or company involved in the production, sale, or transportation of rubber to hold a valid MRB license, except for small holdings that under 40.46 hectares. To raise the quality standards, the MRB also issues product certifications and has introduced the Malaysian Sustainable Natural Rubber Standard, which enforced from the 1st January 2025. This standard includes the requirements like no deforestation, environmental sustainability, social compliance, and supply chain traceability. In response to international trade challenges such as the US-China trade conflict, the government has also acted to protect domestic interests. For example, in April 2025, MRB restrict glove exports to only those produced in Malaysia to avoid being used for trade diversion. Another significant shift is the liberalization policy of rubber business license and permits implemented in January 2020. This policy aims to reduce bureaucracy and encourage business entry, innovation, and competitiveness. It reflects the Malaysia's commitment to a more open and investor-friendly economy while still maintaining strong governance and regulatory compliance. On the other hand, the Rubber Industry Smallholder Development Authority (RISTA), established under the Act 85 of 1972, supports smallholders, those owning under 2.5 hectares. RISTA focused on replanting, development programs, training, and improving smallholder livelihoods, especially in rural areas. It also managed a cess or levy system to fund industry development and research. Finally, the direction of the industry is further guided by the National Agri-Commodity Policy 2030. This policy focused on modernizing upstream production, strengthening midstream processing infrastructure, and ensuring downstream competitiveness, especially for latex-based products. It also supports alignment with UN Sustainable Development Goals. In conclusion, Malaysia's rubber industry is supported by a well-developed legal and policies framework. The MRB and RISTA play a pivotal role in regulations, innovations, and empowerment, ensuring the industry remains sustainable, inclusive, and globally competitive. With these initiatives, Malaysia is well positioned to maintain its relevance in an evolving international market. Thank you.
In conclusion, the SEP indicator help us understand Malaysia's rubber manufacturing industry. The market is an oligopoly, holding over 70% of the market for CR3, and the HHI show moderate to high concentration. These dominance create barriers for new entrants and benefit the big players. In addition, firm conducts focus on cost leadership, product differentiation, and strong investment in R&D and ESG. For performance, we conclude it peaked during the pandemic but declined as demand normalized. As our recommendation, firstly, increasing SME participation is essential to fully utilize government funding and boost up the industry growth. Second, green manufacturing and sustainability should be encouraged, especially among the small producers, with the support of agencies like MRC and NRB. Finally, to maintain the competitiveness, partnership and program must be focused on attracting the new local and foreign producers to strengthen our industry. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.